up, bouquets? How are we blooming today? It's your girl Enchantress, the Gypsy Lotus of Uniqueness, and I am back with another How the Lotus Bloomed. And today, first of all, I know I've been missing. Okay, the girl got to actually heal to help y'all heal, right? Okay, but not even just that. It's seasons change. It's a little cold. Y'all know I only record outside. Been a lot of rain. And it has been healing because it's been like the days where it's not raining, I didn't have the energy. I had a very interesting week last week. I think I might talk about that one day, but this is not what this is going to be about. So I really want to talk about today, because this is how the lotus bloom. Of course, this is the raw, radiant, and real moments that shape my healing journey. And I want to talk about grief again. I'm saying again because I feel like I made a video about grief, but at this point I can't remember. But I want to make, but this time I want to talk more in regards to um grief and why it's been so hard for me with the gifts that I have. Right. So um just to give a little background, I haven't had deaths that were really affecting me until 2022, I think is when AJ died. Yes, 2022 was when AJ. Hold on, I mean 3 years. Oh my god. See, like so I want to talk about grief, but in the aspect of having spiritual gifts, and not even just spiritual gifts, because not for nothing. Yes, I am a medium and I am tapped in and I have all these gifts where I can talk to any realm, and yes, I can talk to anybody's dead relatives and family members and friends, but more so I'm really talking about my personal grief. And I'm saying my personal grief where I want to emphasize that because technically all of us have access to those people that we are personally grieving if we really paid attention and if we really took the time to sit down and figure that out on how that works. But because technically it will be different for every person. But I just want to talk about in regards with me. And I'm talking about it because grief in itself is already a very random emotion. You really don't never know when grief is going to actually hit you. And I feel like I just need to really like explain it for other people, because I think sometimes even with, I think people don't know. I think one, I do kind of already think people don't know how to be there for me in certain situations because you're the strong friend. But I also feel like because of my grief and things, not even because of my grief, I also feel like when I am grieving, people don't understand why it's so much harder for me. So me being spiritually gifted as I am, and of course everybody has different spiritual gifts. So I don't want to like, and maybe there are other people who are experienced this too that will see this video and will understand where I'm coming from. But when you have the gift of mediumship and have the gift to be able to talk to any spirit, kind of, I really won't even say any spirit because I mean technically, well, for me it is any spirit because I'm not a bad person. But everybody, even certain mediums, probably don't have access to everybody because yeah, spirit has to be welcoming to it. But anyway, I have spent like the past 2 days randomly just crying because I was grief hit me randomly. I had my, fuck it, it is what it is. And I feel like I've been treading around that, or even not wanting to talk about this because I'm trying to be respectful of certain things. But my first love passed away over a year ago. And that's why it's even more random, because it's like grief really hits you at any time. It's not his birthday, it's not his death day. I don't know why he is sudden. Well, I kind of do know why he's suddenly crossing me, but I just want to like explain why it's so different, why it's been so much harder for me to grieve or really process my emotions in regards to grief, because like I said, I could talk to anybody. So even when people pass away, if not anything, not for nothing, when AJ passed away a couple years ago, me and him actually have a closer relationship with him being in the spiritual realm now more than we did in the physical, right? And that was my brother, that was my friend, that was, that was my dog, but we got closer when he passed away. And me even saying that, y'all probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? As soon as I passed, I mean, I didn't pass away, Lord forgive. As soon as he passed away, we talk anytime, right? So, which we wasn't really doing that too much on the physical, like we would talk when we would talk, versus now it's like I could say his name, I can, or he might just come to me type situation, but it's more frequent than it was when he was in the physical. Now, with my first love, I'm not going to get into the dynamics and all that other stuff, because what annoys me is that people would see me grieving for my ex and think, damn, did she want that nigga back? No. And if I wanted to, it would have. But no, it wasn't. My grief for my ex really has nothing to do with him being my ex. Like, not for nothing. Hell, nope. None of the people the deaths that have been affecting me, none of them deserve to die. None of them have no business being there right now, as we would say these days, right? But it just hit a little more with him because it was like, damn, like he did, like with my ex, we taught each other a lot. We learned and grew a lot with each other, right? And I feel like he's part of the reason my standards are kind of where they are, because like he did not play about me. So you think you coming in my life and that nigga did not play about me, and even now I feel bad for anybody that tried to cross me down, because my ancestors already didn't play. Adding him to the team, yeah, I might want to tread lightly fucking with me. Yeah, I mean, you should already tread lightly fucking with me, but he don't play about me. So God don't play about me either, but my ex, he don't play about me. So with his death, one, my ex died from sickle cell. He technically could have, and other health issues, but he could have passed away at any time. Like when I was with him, he already technically had a I don't want to. It's still a brain aneurysm, even if it doesn't actually like pop or anything yet. I don't know, but he had a thing in his mind where he did have to stop playing football, because if he did get hit, it would have caused the aneurysm to pop or whatever. But yeah. So technically, he's always had like it could have happened at any time. So I guess when it finally did happen, it was just like, what the fuck? But so why is grief so hard for me, as me being as spiritually gifted as I am? So because I have access, not even just access, because they always have access to me, because it's not even about me having access. They have access to me because of who I am, right? As far as my gifts go, in the spiritual realm, spirits see me as a light, right? Um, so when he passed away, when any of them passed away, it was harder for me to process, because it's like, how do you grieve somebody who's whispering in your ear? Like let's just let me put it in my perspective, right? How do you really fully grieve? How do you fully accept somebody is gone when you still always have access to them? And I'm even saying this to like highlight that grief in general should still be weird, because technically anybody would still have access to whatever loved one when they pass, right? You just don't realize it, or you don't know how to actually tap into that to realize you have access to them. But our loved ones are always trying to send us signs, are always trying to let them know that, or trying to let us know in some form or fashion that they are still with us, right? That's why we even say um energy doesn't die, it only transforms, right? So you may have a physical death, but spiritually you never died, your spirit didn't die, right? So it's harder for me to grieve, and that's why I think I started like being more adamant about actually going to the funeral, because it's like I need to see that it now, especially for me, I really need to see the physical is gone, right? To even really be able to process, like, okay, they really, yeah, you right here whispering in my ear, like AJ funeral, I seen him sitting on top of his casket. Like, so it's just it's different when, and of course, and that's why it's hard, because it's like, of course, nothing beats being able to pick up the phone and da da da. Nothing beats being able to actually physically hug, even though I could feel the hug, I could feel the, I could feel their presence, but nothing beats that skin to skin, that I'm right here type situation, or picking up the phone and calling that person, right? Granted, I could say a name, you right here, but that's why it's like a hard thing for me to do, because it's like when I with my ex, um it's not even just the, like, what my mentor ended up telling me before I actually wanted to tap in, because of course I just didn't even want to tap in. I didn't like, of course I heard him, I know he was saying the stuff he was saying, but I didn't want to, you don't want to accept the person is dead, so I just didn't want to believe that this is what I'm hearing, right? But even with that, it's like it's hard for me to actually accept somebody is gone when they still sitting right there beside me in a different form, you know? And I don't think people realize, because I think honestly, I feel like my spiritual gifts is what made grieving harder for me. Because like I said, I wasn't even getting affected by deaths like that until these things happened. Now, granted, now that I did discover my gift, or when I did discover my gift, it did make me, I was more able to go back in time and kind of start connecting pieces on, like, okay, well, maybe I do remember there was this one time, like there was this one time after my grandmother that I'm named after passed away. And I'm a kid, so I really didn't think this was what it was, obviously. But we had I remember being asleep one night, and my dog, like, yeah, my dog could open my door, but my dog was already in the bed with me. And like at that time, my dad would do like some walk around the house, peeking the door, da da da, but my door was like wide open. But I remember there was one night, and it just felt like I woke up because it felt like somebody was staring at me, or felt like somebody was hovering over me or something. Like, so I remember waking up and like feeling that, but I wasn't aware. I'm like, something is up. But I do remember having a moment of like, grandma, like, what's going on, But high school, we had some deaths that was happening around us, but none of them were like direct hits. Um the deaths that I was experiencing in high school were people, like, I knew them, but they weren't like directly in my circle, if that makes sense. Or like, because some of the deaths would be like the class above, the class below, nobody from my actual class, nobody in my actual friend group, right? So in those deaths, I would be sad. The sadness I was feeling, or the grief, sort of say that I was feeling, was more sort for it was more so the empath in me, just being able to feel everybody else's emotions. Like, um in high school, there was a girl named Raina who passed away. When she passed away, like, yeah, I knew her, but she was in my immediate circle. So, and she was such a sweet young soul, but, and she didn't deserve to die the way she did. But it wasn't really like, I wasn't necessarily feeling sadness, like, oh my God, Rain, I can't talk to Raina no more. It was more so me feeling the sadness for her friend group. I was feeling bad for all her friends. Like, damn, like, I know they messed up. I know, like, I want to be there for them. It wasn't nothing really pertaining to me. And even with my grandmother's passing away, my great grandmother passed away and all that, I wasn't at my great grandmother's funeral. I didn't cry until my grandfather got up there and started crying. So it was more, again, the empath in me feeling his emotions, and now that messed me up. Seeing my grandfather messed up is what messed me up. So it wasn't, it still didn't feel like a direct hit, right? Now, still cold. Now, AJ passed away. That was somebody who was literally like my brother. Rock passed away. That was my brother. Like, I mean, like my brother too, technically, but you can't tell me that was my brother. Sorry. Like, you know how me and my dance family get down. That was my brother. Fuck is you talking about? But those were the deaths that actually was like, I just talked to you. I was something told me to call you. Like with AJ, it was more so like something kept telling me to call AJ, right? Didn't call him. Long and behold, the night AJ ended up getting shot, apparently he was supposed to be on his way to Atlanta. Then with Rock passing, I felt guilt because it was like, damn, I just seen you last week. So these are more literally direct hits, right? So it's still like, damn, like you really was my dog. And yeah, I really do feel that because of course nobody deserves to die, but in the ways they did or at the ages they did. But it was a hard thing for me to do because it's like, while I'm sitting here trying to grieve and cry, they're in my ears saying anything, joking, laughing, kiki, and saying stuff that as if they not dead. So it's like it's harder for me to process when it's like I didn't lose access, because I think that's sometimes what it is. Like you feel like, oh my God, they're dead and they're gone, right? But nobody has been truly gone for me, if that makes sense. So it's like I don't know how to. And I feel like after this, I need to make another video about. I think I'm really talking about my spiritual gifts today, but um, it's just even harder to really sit here and say like, okay, yeah, they gone. No, they not. They right here in my ear. They right beside me. They standing over there. They, whatever. But um, that's why it's so confused. Like that's why not I be confused, but that's why I get so confused because it's like, and that's why I think I've been struggling. Because it's like, of course, nothing beats being able to pick up the phone. Like I really do want to just be able to pick up the phone and call somebody right now, but I can't. But that talk that I want to have, I still can have. I still did have. And it's just like, I still wish at the end of us having that conversation, I could still hug you. I could feel their energy all through my body. I could feel the warmth. We might get a warm touch and feel like somebody's hand touching me, but it's not the same as truly being face to face right here, really wrap my arms and feel the skin, feel the warmth of their skin, or feel the breath of the air of their breath. Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. But it's it's a challenging thing. And I feel like people don't understand that with me. So that's why sometimes death is even harder for me, because it's like, and then it's also, I have a moment of feeling guilty because it's like, I do have all this access. And it's like everybody else is really crying and feeling like they really don't have no type of, can't talk to them no more, da da da. And it's so hard sometimes when you want to say yes you can, and they just said da 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 da, they trying to tell you da 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 da. Like to even be a medium sometimes is really like a scary situation. Like when somebody's spirit or somebody's relative or somebody is just constantly trying to tell you, hey, can you tell them this, da 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 da, can you tell them da 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 da, and they're literally in the middle of grieving or feeling whatever they're feeling, and you don't want to necessarily be the person that comes out of nowhere like, yeah, Bobby said hi. Like you don't want to be that person, because then some people don't have that level of belief or understanding, so they go look at you like you the crazy lady just saying some shit. Like don't be telling me no bullshit. But it's like, I'm not even telling you bullshit. I'm not trying to. Like I'm really telling you what the fuck going on, but you not. Everybody not open to them type of messages either, So it's like I don't. It's such a hard thing. Like it's such a hard thing. Cause it's like, oh yeah, he with us. But it's like, it's a difference of being like, yeah, they're always with you. Yeah, they're right there. Versus, he just told you to stop all that fucking crying, suck that shit up. Cause not for nothing, some of these spirits really be talking like that. Like they do be saying shit like that. So that's why it's even more like, I don't want to be the one to come left field and tell you that he don't want you crying or they don't want you feeling that way. And they said get the fuck up and get back to the grind and do that and third and da 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 da, and it's okay and da 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 da. And um I even Rock was a little petty. So Rock be saying shit sometimes. And he be like, I am not telling nobody you just said that. Like, because he be like, oh, girl. It's so funny. So it's like, I don't even want to, it's just hard. So then you just start feeling a little guilt, like, Everybody feel like, oh my god, I'm gonna miss talking to you. And I'm me being me want to sit there and scream like, you can still talk to them, you can still hear them. They trying to tell you something right now, like, because technically, even in the moments, like I even know, like me technically suddenly get hit with grief is because his energy is just more heavy around me right now. That's why I've been feeling it. Like, damn, why am I so? Why did you just come out of nowhere, like? And I'm feeling like, damn, I miss you, but no, I don't miss you being my boyfriend or nothing. This is literally 10 years ago, but so I know that when I feel that energy is because you're just more so trying to let me know, like, hey, I'm here. And anytime any of y'all have that random burst of grief, it really is technically the other person just saying they right there, trying to tell you, hey, when you get that random reminder of the person, it's because the person is actually trying to tell you something. And sometimes we just get bottled up in the sadness of it, and it's like it's more too because my ex, I need to stop saying that. I mean, he is my ex, but he a lot been happening, so he been trying to tell me like stuff in regards to my love life and stuff like that. So it's like, because I'll get in my head quick, and he be the one like, you just don't even start that. I'm unlovable shit. Like, don't even start going down that path. Like, come on now. So, um, it's just harder for me, honestly, and I wish people could understand that, but sometimes it's harder to understand when you don't experience certain things. But yeah, it's harder for me to actually, I guess it makes it hard because it's harder for me to truly have that moment of acceptance because I've never lost access, if that makes sense. Like, I don't have, in all those deaths that actually like hit me in my chest, their spirits have been very loud in my field. Have their spirit always lets me know they're around whenever I need to. I can call a name, they go be here, right? Or I can have whatever conversation I want to have with whoever when I want to. But it doesn't, I could literally just say the name out loud versus when you had that moment where you want to grab the phone and call them. I don't have to do it. Like, I know not to grab my phone. I do know that. But then sometimes you want to grab that phone. Sometimes you want to be able to just pick up the phone and call. Like, y'all hear the saying, I wish heaven had a phone, had a phone. It does. You're the phone. You just had to pay attention. Like, spirits will give you whatever sign you need. It just depends on the person. Some people get signs through music. Some people can hear the person if they actually sit down and actually try to listen. Some people, um, it might be animals. It might be a dream. It might be whatever. Because I see people be like, visit me in my dreams again. That's real experiences. People can visit you in your dreams. They can do, spirits can do whatever they want to do. I mean, not whatever the fuck they want. Depends on your level of protection, but yeah, whatever you allow them to do, they will do. So it's just harder for me to actually like, they gone. And then it's even more when it's like people don't understand, like, because sometimes I feel like that's what makes me even sadder. Like with AJ, it's like, damn, how we get closer when you pass? How we start having more talks about certain things when you pass? Like, me, my first love, hadn't talked out of respect for the situation he had going on. Hadn't talked before he passed, and then he passed, and now it's say all this stuff, and it's like, nigga. And then I can't even express it because it's like respect, or people taking it out of, because I'm sure people would see me grieving if I post my ex. They're gonna think, oh, she want her ex, she miss her ex as the ex. No, y'all don't know that. No, he didn't play about me in any form, in any capacity of our relationship. He didn't play about me as a friend. He always, my ex would go to war for me. Like, he would. If anything, if anybody messed with me, my ex was ready to. Oh, who did what? Like, he just really had my back for real, genuinely. And a lot of people don't know that. Like a lot of people wouldn't even understand our bond. So it's like even harder when people don't even understand the bond that you have with somebody, and then you're trying to grieve it, and then it's even harder to grieve because it's like, are you like? Because more so, I can only go as far as grieving the physical, because I can't grieve spiritually. You ain't gone spiritually. Like I can only grieve the fact that I'm not picking up the phone to call. I can only grieve that I can't put my hands on you. So it's like, yeah, that fuck you up, but we still talk. I still get the encouragement. I still get what I need. I still have whatever conversations I need to have with whoever I need to have it with at the time. I could still have a conversation with Rock. I could still have a conversation with AJ. I could still have a conversation with my grandmothers. Mind you, me and my grandmother died when I was 8. And I don't even know I had turned 8 yet because I gotta remember what month she passed. But my grandmother died when I was 8. We never had a relationship physically to me. I mean, I remember her calling a lot, but like actually really in person relationship, I don't feel like we had that. But I know that she genuinely lives through me and I really am her mini me through me being connected spiritually and now having them conversations with her. Like I didn't realize it growing up when I would still go out to visit my family and they would be like, oh, you wanna know what you gonna look like at 16 and nah, 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 nah. And then when I got my spiritual gifts and really realized how much she really has always been around me, it hit different. Now I can actually, okay, tell me about all this stuff that I never got a chance to actually have a conversation about, right? So it's just different, and I just wish more people would understand, but you can't really understand or understand anything that you've never experienced or don't have an open mind awareness to. So yeah, honestly, I'm really making this so that y'all realize, like, let spiritual people grieve, especially when you know they're spiritually tapped in. Let them grieve and process the emotions in the way that they can, in the best way they can, because sometimes it is very different for us because we are so aware of certain things that it's like, at least for me, that grief is hard because it's like, how do I really sit here and cry? And granted, I was sitting here crying the last 2 days, but how do I really sit here and cry? But as I'm crying, technically they're the one consoling me anyway. Because that's what was just happening. Like I'm crying, but my ex is literally in my ear, like, it's okay. Don't do this. Don't start thinking like that. Don't even start that negative talk. Don't even, you know what this was. You know, da 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 da. And it's like, most people just having a human experience would think I'm batshit crazy, but I'm not. And especially when I do start saying what the hell folks be saying, you be like, oh yeah, they definitely said that. Because when I am talking, if I allow spirit to talk through me, my voice will change, my demeanor will change. You could tell when the spirit is talking through me. But well, if you're aware enough, you could tell when the spirit is talking through me. But even when I discovered my gift and my friend, her ex-boyfriend or boyfriend had passed away, and how I discovered my gifts was from him passing away and her grieving and constantly asking these questions, and I'm hearing answers and I'm thinking I'm going crazy, like, oh bitch, I think I'm too high. Like, we might have smoked too many blunts, because why do I hear answers to every question you asking? And then it wasn't till he was like, nigga, tell her what I'm saying. Oh, okay. Mind you, when I started telling her what he's saying, she immediately knew he really was saying it because I hadn't. This is her ex. I've only been around dude a couple times. I don't know his vernacular for real. I don't know how he talk. And obviously, we all talk to people in certain tones in a certain way. He didn't talk to me the same way he talked to her. So when I'm saying what I'm saying, she like, obviously I'm not a boy, so my voice ain't go naturally to. But she could tell that what I was saying really came from her based on the words I was even using. I can't remember because when that stuff does happen, I usually don't even remember what was said, but because it wasn't me talking. But I just remember literally hearing answers every time she was talking. But it's just such a crazy thing to really have to grieve, but it's not really, because that's why it's like, is it really grief if I'm still talking to you? can I really say you're gone if I'm still talking to you? So yeah, that's why I just it's a conflict. It's different for me, and I just wanted to those that's something I've been dealing with or having to work through and trying to even understand my emotions in regards to, because like I don't even know what I'm, because like how can I say I miss you when you're right here? But again, nothing beats that physical face to face human to human interaction. Like, of course, I'm still connected to you spiritually, but nothing beats that human to human. Pick up the phone and really ha 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 ha. I mean, we still go kiki, but nothing beats that. So that's all. Honestly, and this is why I do what I do. So if you want to book a reading with me, if you want to learn how to figure out when your loved ones are trying to reach out to you, I can help you figure that out because I'm connected to any and everybody. Everybody, and that's the thing. And I feel like I say it a lot. Everybody has the ability to talk to their ancestors and their loved ones and their past friends, but everybody doesn't have the access to literally any spirit. I have access to any spirit. People I don't. I remember when I first was discovering my gift, and we was driving past the cemetery, and oh my god, chaos immediately. Rode past the hospital, chaos immediately. Like, and I didn't know what to do because I'm just not discovering my gift, so I'm like very much overwhelmed. Like somebody done attached to my shoulder. I just feel my shoulder literally getting like this. Like, oh, hey, can you tell my family that I don't even. Is your family even still alive? You from the 1700s? Like it's crazy shit, right? So it's just like, well, I can't even say you from 17. I didn't, because I didn't know how to like back then. Of course, when you first discovered, I didn't even know how to um organize the information to sort of say. I didn't know how to discern between the voices. Now I can. Now I could definitely. I know who's talking to me when they're talking. Well, I can't fully say that either. In regards to my people, I know who's talking to me when talking to me. When I am giving readings, of course, I'll describe the person and you'll know, or based on what I'm saying, you'll know who I'm talking to. But I don't be knowing too much about it. Well, now I would definitely get a name and stuff like that. But back then, when I was still trying to understand my own gift, it was had to work on it. Cause child, when I tell you, literally riding past a cemetery, it got loud in my head immediately. I just heard a whole bunch of voices in my shoulder, literally like I remember it felt like my shoulder was like heavy. Like it just felt like somebody was literally trying to like, how like a kid is trying to pull on you like, hey, look, mommy, mommy, mommy. It was like one of them like, what the like, hey, like trying to get my attention. I'm like, whoa, I'm new here. Cause again, to them, they just see a light. So I'm just riding past. They see this bright light riding past. Oh, hey, whoa, back up off me. I did have to create some boundaries with spirits and stuff because whoa, give me a second. But yeah, it's just a little different for me in the grieving process because of my spiritual gifts sometimes. And with my mentor, I've kind of been working through because even the last clearing or whatever I just had, I was like, he around me. She was like, you haven't been hearing him. I mean, I have, but sometimes I just, tell me I'm not crazy, just tell me I'm not crazy. But yeah. So that's all for How to Lotus Bloom today. I'm still blooming through my grief, even how weird it feels and how confusing it could be to me sometimes. And maybe, hopefully, this gives somebody who either has spiritual gifts more understanding, if they're having trouble with grief because they feel the same way, or people who don't necessarily aren't tapped in yet but want to be tapped in. Maybe this gives you, inspiration to figure out how to do that. Um, and lastly, the friends of people with spiritual gifts, maybe being able to give the person with spiritual gifts more grace and being able to understand that person more through my story. So that's all I have for you today. Oh, remember, healing gets messy before it gets magical, but you are worthy of all the happiness and peace that is waiting for you on the other side. Keep your head up, adjust that crown, don't let it tilt. I love you. I hope you love you. Peace.